Hello everyone, it's Laurie from Cook Scrap Craft, and I have got a process video for you that is a special bonus one because this month I am participating with the Peace Craft Love Iron Crafter Challenge. So every month she challenges scrapbookers to use a specific tool on their layouts, and this month is dimensional dots or enamel dots. So I have a lot of dimensional dots, primarily Nuvo Drops. I have a couple that are Scrapbook.com pops of color. They're the same type of thing. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to use some of these and show you how I use these dimensional dots on my layouts. And it's not going to be till the end of the layout because you do have to be careful when using them. They can get smudged very easily. It's happened to me before. So if I'm going to use these drops, I'm going to use them at the very end and make sure that it's the last thing I put on my page. So they're basically just, to me, like an accent piece. And you can use enamel dots in the same way if you prefer enamel dots, but I do like the look of these Nuvo Drops and pops of color, or just dimensional dots in general. I just think they add something a little nice, and especially if you don't have enamel dots, but you have these dimensional drops, you can use those, or if you don't have dimensional drops, you can use enamel dots in much the same way. All right, so I had this photo. It was a single photo of a surfboard-shaped little free library at a beach that we went to over the summer. And I just loved it. I'm a sucker for a little free library. So of course I took 2 books that I didn't need. If I had known that they had one there, they actually had a bunch. If I had known that they had some, I would have brought books to put in. But I didn't know that, so now I do. But I took a picture of it because I thought it was really cute. And I scrapbooked the beach photos, and then I went, I don't really have space for this photo on this layout, so maybe I won't even include it. And then I was like, you know what? I've got some bookish things in my stash, some bookish cut-aparts and embellishments. I'm going to use those for this layout about the little free library because I think it makes sense. So I kind of put the pieces together, basically just layered up a bunch of stuff that you just saw me do, layered it up behind the photo. And I tried to like stick it all together so that I could just take that big chunk, lift it up, move it, and then easily put it back down when I was done with this mixed media that I'm doing here. And I did draw some pencil outlines just so I could know where like the corners and edges were going to be, sort of to help me remember where to place this back down, but also so I could kind of see where the mixed media needed to be so that it wouldn't get too covered up. So what I'm doing with the mixed media is I just took 2 colors of Tim Holtz Distress Oxide spray. I think I used a color that was a little too orangey. I think I meant to use his peachy color that came out last year. I don't remember the name of it. And I have it, but I didn't see it in my stash in time, and I ended up grabbing this sort of orangey color. So that it wasn't exactly the color scheme I was going for, but whatever, it works. So I let that dry, and I did do a lot of with my heat tool. Yes. I'm like, I don't want to say my heat gun because it's not really a gun. But the heat tool that I have, I did try to dry this paper up a little bit more because I wasn't going to wait overnight for it. I wanted to get this layout done, right? So I used the heat tool on it. It's Vicki Boutin Foundations paper cardstock, so it's really sturdy and works really, really well, even when you take the heat tool to it. And now I put some foam tape. You can kind of see there. I'm going to pop that whole cluster up over the top. So I have some foam tape on it, and I'm just trying to like figure out, put it back down to see where the placement is, because now I'm going to add some paper strips, patterned paper strips that are from my stash. I have a whole bag of these things, and I'm like, what better way to use them than on something that is just a totally random layout, random mixed media, random bits and pieces from Simple Stories and Very Old Wild Whisper. They did a collaboration with Cheeky Studio. I want to say maybe 2018, and it was a whole book-themed collection. So I don't know if you can still purchase it from Wild Whisper. Probably not, because it's a very old collection, and they have newer stuff. And if you don't know who Wild Whisper are, they're actually a Canadian scrapbook company, kind of like a local scrapbook manufacturer. And you can order from them online, and they have a community on Facebook as well. And speaking of community on Facebook, the Peace Craft Love Clubhouse is also a really fun community, and that's where you'll find information about these challenges that she does and then these hops every month. And if you go down into my description box below, you'll find the link for Peace Craft Love, and you can see everybody who's participating in the Iron Crafter Challenge. So going back to this with those patterned paper strips, a lot of them are border strips. or branding strips, I mean. Some of them are just like pieces of paper that got cut and they were thin. And I was like, you know what? I don't want to get rid of it because why would you throw away perfectly good paper? So I just have a whole bag of these things. I'm like, let's just bring them out. Let's find some ones that kind of fit the color scheme. And then I'm just erasing those pencil marks. And for some reason, of course, they never line up properly after I go back to put this down. And maybe that's because I popped it up on the foam tape and that kind of, warps the placement of everything because it's no longer flat. So maybe that's what it is. But yeah, everything was a little off with the pencil marks. I'm glad I put them on there, but it was still a little off. And so now just for more funsies, I'm adding these Doodlebug Designs doilies that I've had in my stash for quite some time. Several months. And I think these were the last ones. They were just out on my desk. And I'm like, you know what? Let's use them. Let's just put them on here. So I cut it in half so I'd have one at the bottom and one at the top. And now I'm going to throw in a couple of these book-themed embellishments. So that says currently reading. And then I have a couple stickers that are from, I want to say Paige Evans. One of her fall collections last year had some a sticker of a bookstore and a sticker of a stack of books. And then there was one from Simple Stories. I think it was the Good Stuff collection from last year that said the whole story. And I thought that was kind of fitting to go for a layout about books, right? So like I said, this is a really, really random layout. And you don't have to do this a book theme. You could do this with whatever theme you have. You don't even have to have a theme. Oh, there's another doily. I think I got 3. Do I put that in there? No, I can't remember. I definitely used all those doilies. But if you have a sticker sheet or a couple of stickers from a collection and they're, I don't know, a garden thing, you could be like, oh, okay, let's just make a garden themed layout. And you don't even have to use a photo, use a 4x6 placeholder and just put all those things in. And then when you have a photo, add the photo later. Or if, like I said, if you don't even have to have a theme, you could just take a bunch of random embellishments and a bunch of random cut aparts and pieces of scrap paper and just layer them up, right? And especially because you're doing the mixed media background, makes it really fun to just do your own thing. So here's where the the dimensional drops come in. So I used, I think 3 colors. There's a peachy color. There's this sort of glimmery, it's called emerald, but it's really more of a sparkly blue, I think. I like to do the enamel dots in groups of 3. So I just kind of find spaces like white space in the corners, and I just do 3 dots in a row. And just for some other visual interest, sometimes the row might be vertical, sometimes it might be horizontal. There's one in this layout that's on a diagonal. If there's a curved embellishment or a curved piece of or a circle, I will have the drops go kind of around the circle, curved. So there are lots of different ways that you can do them. And this is just one of my favorite ways, is to do 3 in a row, because when scrapbooking, the rule of 3s is always a good rule to follow. You're always going to cluster, make an embellishment cluster with 3 things, use 3 dots of your dimensional dots or enamel dots as well. And so these are all pretty much the same size. I'm not trying to score it out a whole bunch more than others. But yeah, I just kind of try to get them as uniform as I can. They might flatten up a little bit, and that's okay. Most of mine do stay kind of popped up and they look like little dots. You just have to really make sure that you, like I said, wait till the end and try not to smudge, because they really will smudge a rudge. All right, and that's no fun. So wait till the very end. I try to move the paper around because obviously I'm not working from top to bottom. And of course, I should have done the hand-drawn border before I even started with the enamel dots. I don't take my own advice sometimes, but I'm a professional, and so I know what I'm doing now. Now I know. So just be really careful if you're gonna ignore my advice to do the enamel dots at the very end. So this is another way that I like to use the enamel dots, or I keep saying enamel dots, dimensional dots, the Nuvo Drops. I like to do the hand-drawn border, and then at the top and the bottom, just do a row of 3 dots along the border. I think that's fun too, and it's fun to do it with enamel dots as well, or any kind of circular sticker that you can put down along that hand-drawn border. I think that looks fun. So I think this whole layout looks fun. Here, I'm going to do a little bit of journaling, and then there's going to be some close-ups. Again, did I wait for the enamel dots? Did I wait for these drops whatever they are. Did I wait for them to dry? No, I didn't. I did my journaling and I very carefully tried not to smudge. All right. So again, do as I say, not as I do. Here are the close-ups. I hope that you guys participate in this Iron Crafter challenge and share on social media, and then come to the Peace Craft Love Clubhouse so you can participate in next month's. And definitely hop along with everybody else who's participating. And thank you so much for watching this video. Give it a big thumbs up and click the subscribe button. See you next time.